Would you believe I'm taking a break? But because I like you, check out the links on the back end of this. But if you want to be your own boss, if you want a part-time or even full-time job, you can earn anywhere from $20 to $30 or maybe even more depending on tips and stuff. But driving a rideshare, Uber or Lyft. Referral links will be in the back end of the video here. To get started, you'll need to download the platform app for Uber or Lyft or whichever app that you're going to use to drive for. You'll also need a vehicle, preferably something good in fuel economy, whether it be a gas or electric. Personally, I use a hybrid. I average probably about 48 miles per gallon driving here in the Columbia, South Carolina area. But you'll need a sticker, sign, or something to go on your windshield, or even a LED light. That way you can put in the window. Just a note, if you're using LEDs, make sure you abide by local state laws. Most states, blue lights and red lights are kind of frowned upon. You might get a citation. So I'd recommend you avoiding those. They got pink, green, amber, other colors. Just be mindful of that as well. Also check your local state ordinance, such as where I'm at in South Carolina. Working in the Columbia area, you have to have your tag number on the front of the vehicle. I personally have a tag on the front, but I drive mainly early morning or late in the evenings when it's dark. So I've also got a LED sign in my front window. With that, it's got my name, it's got my tag number. I've also got a Uber or Lyft sign, just according to which platform I'm driving for. Other considerations that you'll look at when your passengers get in a vehicle, you want a pretty presentable vehicle. I recommend kind of smells good, looks good. You know, look at it the way you would like to have it. So with that, you might want to consider getting a local car wash, as I mentioned before. With that, it averages probably $1 a day or something, like $20 a month. That'll give you unlimited vacuuming at those, and you can wash your vehicles daily at all of them. Whichever platform you need, I'd recommend just a basic, but go with what you can work with. Now, if you do have an accident in the vehicle, do have you a local detail shop, unless you do it yourself. That way you can be reimbursed. If somebody does have a mishap in the vehicle, they are responsible for that, and with that, they can be held to pay for that. So kind of have the ability to either get or generate a receipt for the cleaning time on that. My last negative exposure on that was my second trip of the day, and I was done for the day because it was ugly. But that's what you will work with that when you got passengers. It might be a little bit wobbly. Continuing on, anytime you get a passenger in the vehicle, first thing you want to do is confirm who they are. Hi sir or ma'am, my name's Casey, whatever your name is. If you want to use Casey, that's fine too, but your app might say different. But hi sir or ma'am, hope you're doing well. And then confirm your address of where you're going to. Personally, I had a mishap a couple of years ago. Had an individual that I transported like 90 miles from the location I picked him up, but the coordinator had put the wrong address in it. If you do have a mishap and they dispatch you to drop off at the wrong place, take screenshots of the address and stuff. Don't edit it. Reach out through your help platform on whichever platform you're driving with. That way they can get it coordinated. That way you get funded for the entire trip. That particular trip I didn't get funded on. So be mindful, accidents do happen. If you've got people in your front seat, always, regardless, they got to wear their seatbelt. If it's an adult in the back seat, ultimately it's on them, but I always encourage everybody to wear their seatbelt. If you've got minors, teenagers, and such, they've got to be properly secured in the vehicle. State law in all states do require different, so you got to abide by your local state law. Just wrapping up what you've got. You've got your vehicle, you've got your app, you got your sign, to cover whether it's day or night. Be safe about where you're going. Always situational awareness. If you do have that trip, and you might have one. I've only had one since I've been registered driver in 2018. It was kind of weird. But if you do have that Leary trip, be mindful. The platforms still allow you to record audio, video on the platforms. You might want to get you a dash camera. Some dash cameras can connect directly to the app, so you'll have to research that. There is also other platforms that you can get, like an Oculus and some other stuff that'll earn extra money while you're driving the rideshare platforms. Just other perks. Research fuel discount incentives, whether it be cards. You may already have cards that you get cash back on. There is other services that you can get cash on. That's other things that you want to consider on that. When you drop your fare off, just be situationally aware of what's going on. If you've got weirdos around, let them know. It might be their uncle, aunt, brother, sister, something like that, but it might also be a legitimate weirdo. So just kind of keep an eye on them. With that person, when you let them out, me personally, if it's, be mindful when they're loading or unloading. If it's an elderly person, you might need to assist them if they've got additional equipment, walkers, canes, and stuff of that nature. Maybe stiff legs, you might have to assist them getting their feet up in the vehicle. If you've got younger kids and women folk as well, whether they're older or younger, kind of, I park my vehicle where it's oriented to headlights toward where they should be walking. That way they can kind of see safely. Most of the time, because of the multiple hats I've wore, I'll usually sit there until they make it in the house. That way I could be the deterrent for some weirdo standing around. So just be mindful of that. You might prevent something by sitting there for an extra minute to make sure they make it to their destination safely, not just dropped off. Then again, sometimes, you got to go what you got to go. And at the end of the day, you got to live with your choices on that. But you got to be safe while you're doing it. But that's a few of the things in considering. Again, just to recap, you got the app. You've got a vehicle. You've got everything filled out for the app and you're ready to drive. Some states may require you to get an additional inspection. For whatever reason, the state inspection doesn't work, so the platform requires you to get another inspection if you're an out-of-state driver, for an example. So just be mindful. There may be a few little individual things that's tailored to you specifically. Be mindful of that. But you've got everything done. You pick up the passenger, drop them off in a clean, presentable vehicle, and be safe about it. Again, you're averaging probably $20 to $30 an hour, plus or minus on your tips. So that's something, definitely consider. Be presentable and have fun. Again, you're your own boss. You're also a representative of the particular platform you're driving for rideshare. So have a great day. Check out the photos on the back end of a couple of samples of my lights that I carry, as well as the referral codes. Once you generate an app, create your own referral codes and encourage your friends to drive and have a little fun. Also, if you find discounts for fuel and stuff of that nature, feel free to share. Thank you, and have a blessed day. The photos following, as well as little snippets, are from how I've got my setup. Again, I'm driving a 2022 Toyota Camry hybrid. So just be mindful, dash cameras and stuff of that nature. You may have them positioned differently. You may have your phone and or your CarPlay differently. But, get the setup that works for you, because you're the one that's out there. And be safe while you're at it. Again, make sure, too, you got a decent field of view. You shouldn't be obstructing your driving field, your windshield and stuff of that nature. Once you download your platform app, get familiar with the app. There are several tutorials. It doesn't matter whether it's a Lyft, an Uber, or which platform. There are videos out there, to include other videos on YouTube and other social media sources. Get familiar with those. The apps and the platforms themselves, they do have tutorials, tell you how to do stuff. You can set up different parameters of what you're looking for on the different maps. Be mindful, too. Technology is technology. Sometimes the app may tell you to turn left, and there's no road there, nothing but a row of cornfield or buildings or what have you. You might want to be, just be prepared to be flexible. Now you're all there and ready to go. Don't forget to like and share this with any of your colleagues that might be interested in being a driver. If you've got questions, feel free to comment. I do check comments. Thanks a bunch.